Jockey Eddie Delahoussaye achieved greatness in the game of horse racing. In a career that spanned 36 years, Eddie D won 6,384 races. He notched 7 Breeders' Cup wins.
And here's the wire, and it is prize!
And 5 Triple Crown victories, with total purse earnings over $195 million.
Not only was a great competitor, but he was a good guy to have in the job. You know, I enjoyed his company for many, many years, and I remember when he wasn't riding, you know, you kind of miss him, you know, because you're a good friend.
I think he's a very good role model. He's achieved a tremendous amount in his career without a lot of fanfare. You know, I have a lot of admiration for the way he conducts himself and did conduct himself and still does. He's a gentleman from Louisiana.
Although Eddie gained tremendous respect through his numerous accomplishments on the track, it was the character demonstrated off the track as a loving husband and father that often earned him the most admiration from his peers.
The thing that I always really admired about him and his wife Juanita is the way they treated their daughter Mandy, who is severely mentally retarded, and they've always kept her at home. They never put her into a group home or anything like that, and they would take her out wherever they went. If they went to a restaurant, she was always part of the family. And I think a lot of people don't do that.
She's 33 years old, and that's been the biggest challenges of our life, you know, and she needs help constantly because she can't feed herself, she can't dress herself. And I'm fortunate that my sister's been here living with us and helping her. And also my wife, Juanita, she's been an unbelievable woman to put up with that. And it's been hard on all of us, but she's living at home, my daughter Mandy, and it's been a blessing that I think it made us look at life differently about things, having a handicapped child. It makes you realize how lucky people are that do have kids that are normal. You know, you're not as selfish, you know, and you're caring for somebody. And then to see somebody that is handicapped, that maybe cannot help herself, but that is sweet and kind, it makes you look at them like they're normal. It doesn't look like they have a handicap. It's been tough, but we've been down a lot, but she brings us up a lot.
Precision is in front by a half.
Eddie Delahoussaye committed himself 100% to the game of horse racing, and in return, he found glory and immortality on the track. But after fracturing a bone in his neck and suffering the 5th concussion of his career in an accident at Del Mar, Eddie hung up his tack for good in 2003.
Being a jockey is a dangerous career, and it's just something day in, day out a jockey knows, but you don't think about it. Because if you thought about it, you wouldn't ride racehorses. You're going to get hurt, you're going to get stepped on, it's just part of the game, but it's how bad.
And by his side throughout his journey was his wife Juanita and their children, son Lauren and daughter Mandy.
She's always been there for me. She's always been there for me, and whatever I needed, she was there. And I guess I couldn't have done it without her. You know, and that's what's made me happy, and still to this day, we're still going great guns together.
He and Juanita have done a marvelous job raising their 2 children, Lauren and Mandy. Together they have endured some pretty tough times and have truly appreciated the good times. They are a class act and would be an asset to any sport, and the sport of horse racing is certainly proud to have the Delahoussayes as part of our family.
Well, the Hall of Fame shows how much, you know, from the time I was 10 till the time I got inducted, how much work put into it, and to be inducted in the Hall of Fame when I was 10 or when I was 20, I never dreamed of it. Or when I was 30, I never dreamed of it.
It's a great sport, and I enjoy it. And I want to thank everybody, especially my wife and my son. They're here today. And thanks for coming. And I enjoy it. I'm very honored. Thank you.
Eddie Delahoussaye thrilled racing fans with his exploits on the racetrack and earned his peers' respect.
Pleasant State with one final run as they come to the wire. It'll be close, and Pleasant State gets their last strike.
A journey that began in New Iberia, Louisiana.
I grew up around horses. My dad had horses, and his brothers had horses, and that's how I got involved with horses.
At just 10 years of age, Eddie started learning his craft.
People would get together and match their horses on Saturdays and Sundays. It was a straight track, and it wasn't an open track. They had a rail right in between, and there wasn't much room to pull horses up back there, and that was the hairiest sport for guys, for kids that were 10 years old and they weighed about 60 pounds. After I started riding, that's when I fell in love with it.
Eddie turned professional at 16. And after breaking his maiden at Evangeline Downs on June 28, 1968, he rode wherever and whenever to master his trade. Eddie was soon burning up the Midwest, winning riding titles at Keeneland, Fairgrounds, Arlington Park, and Churchill Downs. But life on the road had its challenges.
Going to Churchill, going to New Jersey, going traveling, that I didn't like, because you stayed 3 months here, you had to pick up, get a U-Haul trailer, haul that, and find a hotel.
But the hard work paid off in a big way at the inaugural Jockey Challenge at Hollywood Park.
I came in '77 and I competed, and I fell in love with the place.
2 years later, Delahoussaye moved his tack to California and made an impression on trainer Neil Drysdale, who would have a big impact throughout Eddie's career.
When he arrived in Southern California, funny enough, his reputation was as a two-year-old rider, you know, and as a speed rider. It turned out that, you know, he had ice in his veins and that he could ride anything and do anything and ride on the grass and the turf and the front and the back and everything else. Because he became very well known as a come-from-behind rider, but actually, if he was ever on the lead, you could never get by him. He was very, very dangerous on the lead, and people forget that.
Magic now second down the inside. Farther back, Adored is third, and they're coming to the final 16th. Princess Rooney in a romp. Here's the champion. Here's the wire. Princess Rooney, an absolute runaway winner.
In back-to-back runnings of the Kentucky Derby, Delahoussaye demonstrated his versatility in front of a nationwide audience. In 1982, he piloted longshot Gato del Sol from way off the pace.
I made history there, and nobody was going to take that away. As far as my business, it was going to help my business, which it did. But, you know, a jock still has to go out there and work and produce.
Down the stretch, it's Sonny's halo.
And he produced the very next year, confidently placing Sonny's halo near the pace.
Nearing the finish, it's Sonny's halo. He's going to win it. Sonny's halo.
Eddie also participated in one of the most thrilling races ever, the inaugural running of the Arlington Million aboard the Bart, against his good friend Bill Shoemaker in the irons on John Henry.
My horse was digging in, and John Henry wasn't quite getting by me. I said, so at the 16th pull, I said to myself, I think I got it. But I was riding hard, but that's what was going through my mind. So we hit the wire, and when we hit the wire, I mean, it was so close. But eventually, they looked at the photo, and it was John Henry. He beats me a nose. When he passed away, he gave me the picture of John Henry and the Bart in Arlington Million. I have it hung up in my living room. And every day I have to look at that, and he's beating me every day. That's the kind of friend Bill Shoemaker was. He wanted to make sure when he left, I would always remember him beating me in the Arlington Million.
For the next 2 decades, Eddie D won riding titles on the Southern California circuit against some fierce competition.
The jockey colony, when I came here in '79, was as tough as anywhere in the country. You had Bill Shoemaker, you had Lafitte Pinkai, you had Chris McCarron, you had Fernando Toro, you had Darryl McCord, and to come here and compete with them, I knew it was going to be tough.
Mr. Purple made a huge looping run, and he's gone right on by.
Eddie, when he rode a horse that came from behind, instead of being 10 lengths back, he would be 15 or 20 lengths back. We used to call him the devil because all of a sudden when he showed up, you were in trouble. And, you know, he was exciting jockey to watch.
His timing was impeccable. Eddie won more photo finishes by a nose than any rider that I've watched or ridden against. He had a knack for the finish line, and once again, Eddie beat me in a photo finish.
Heartmania closing powerfully. It's going to be close. It's final finish.
The 93 Breeders' Cup to me was really a great example of his coolness under pressure.
I was standing by the scale, trackside, watching a race, and I saw Eddie's whip go flying, you know, inside the 8th plate. You could see it go, it flew up pretty high, and then you could hear Eddie.
And he just used his right hand to kind of like flail his hand in front of her eye, just sort of approximating that he had the whip there.
Here's the finish, and it's Hollywood Wildcat. Eddie Delahoussaye drops his whip.
Eddie currently works as a bloodstock agent and advisor. But there was a price to pay for a lifetime of memories.
It has taken its toll on my body. From the 202 injury where I fractured my C5, and that was my second concussion, and I was in a daze for almost a year. I have what they also call a torticollis, which is a muscle disorder I'm going to have to live with, and which could get worse, and they don't know if they have any cure for that. I've had a hip replacement. That's from the years of riding, and we think it's from that year I got kicked in '82. I have tremors. Memory loss. You know, it's like Muhammad Ali being punched in the head. I got punched in the head twice, and I don't need to get punched again, and that's what the doctor said back in 2002. And I was thinking, well, you know, okay, I could maybe go on with my career after doing something else, galloping horses, buying horses, which I've been doing right now in a small part, but then I could get back on horses and feel them out, feel how they feel to buy them. And so that was tossed out too because of my hip. So a lot of things changed because of injuries. But the first 36 years was good.
And this has to be the greatest day of your life.
Oh, it's the greatest day of my life, Mr. Cosell. It's unbelievable.